Hi guys. Okay, bear with me on this. I've never done anything like this before. Let's just start in all fours position. So we're going to move into our cat-cow. So exhale as you look forward and inhale to round the spine. Now I'll be moving through this video quite quickly, so pause it wherever you need to and just work with your own breath in your own time. This video is just to give you a guideline of what to do. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, round the spine. And then coming back to tabletop position, we're going to extend out the right leg and lifting it up like we do with our Superman. Rounding through the spine, extending to the leg and the arm, rounding through the spine. Working with the breath, not holding, trying to release on the exhale. Now we're going to flatten out through that right leg, or is it the left leg? I can't see. Right leg. Extend up through the left arm, looking up to the sky, and if you want to, you can lift the right leg up to hip height. Coming back around. And then we're going to move through Superman on the other side. So extending out, rounding through the spine. Extending and rounding. And then we're going to flatten out the left leg in a moment. We're going to press the foot into the mat. And we're going to open out through the left side. So you can swing the right leg around to the side. Make sure that you keep your hips in line with your ankles. And then lift up through the left arm. And if you want to lift the left leg up to hip height, you can do so as well. And then coming back around and bringing yourself into child's pose. And just take a few breaths here in child's pose. And then coming back up, we're going to move through a little stretch sequence where we come all the way forward, just pressing into the hands, pressing away from the earth. Come back into child's pose. And then come forwards, shoulders over the arms, lift up the feet at the back. You might need to take a quick look at the video just to see what's going on here. I know I'm moving to this quite quickly. Exhaling on the way back down. And coming into child's pose again. And then coming back into all fours. We're going to do thread the needle. So lift the left hand up high and extend it underneath your right hand. And if you want to go for the bind as well, just bring the left hand around to rest behind your back. And coming back into all fours, lift the right hand up high, scoop it under the left hand, extending out through the right hand. And lift the left hand up for a bind. Just place it on your lower back. And then coming back into all fours and all the way down onto the belly. Now we're going to lift up into cobra. Keep the elbows in tight to the rib cage. So inhale, coming up, elbows in tight. Exhale, lower down. You can do this in your own time. You can pause the video, do as many as you like. Make sure those hip bones are pressing into the mat and the thighs are engaged. And just for one, if we want to try coming into up dog. So we tuck the toes under, lift the thighs up off the ground, pressing away from the mat. Arms are strong, and then releasing, coming all the way back down and just into a counter pose, child's pose, just for a breath. Now we're going to tuck the toes under and do a little toe yoga where we kneel back on our feet and we come through tree of life, stretching out through the hands, head comes down, bowing, coming all the way up through center, extending up through the hands, extending out through the arms. Now you can untuck the toes at any point that you like. It's just nice to get a little bit of toe yoga in as well for our toes. Now lifting up and coming into an easy twist. Lifting up in through center and gentle twist to the other side. Very gentle, not forcing, just warming up through the spine, up through center and extending out either side. And then coming off the toes and coming into a little yogi squat. So find your balance, find your squat. You can come up onto your tippy toes, or you can flatten the feet. If you want to bring them as wide as the mat, you can flatten the feet. And then using your elbows to press against the inside of your thighs, hands in prayer, lifting up through the chest and breathing here as we drop the hips down to the ground. And then releasing through that. So we're going to open out through the sides now. So right hand comes down, left hand comes up. We look up towards the left hand. Then left hand comes down to the ground. Right hand comes up, look up. Lovely twist on the lower back. Once more either side. Or do as many as you like. Pause the video wherever you want. And then bring yourself into a forward fold. My hamstrings are incredibly tight at the moment, so I find my forward folds really difficult at the moment. So bend your knees as much as you need to. I should have more of a belly to thigh connection here, but I don't. I'm nodding my head like I'm saying yes, nodding my head like I'm saying no, swaying side to side. Clasp the hands together behind the back and see can you extend them up over your head. Just go to wherever is comfortable. It's a really good shoulder stretch here. Breathing all the time. And then when you release, release with control. Coming up into standing position, rolling up slowly, head and shoulders are last, and then adjust your clothing and give your shoulders a little roll. And take a moment in Tadasana. And then just walking to the head of your mat, we're going to go through sun salutation. So just arms come up, coming to a slight back bend, coming all the way forward into a forward fold, lifting into a half fold, stepping the right foot back, drop the knee, untuck the toes and find your lunge, roll the shoulders back. Stay here or bring the hands all the way up. If your hands are up, lift through the armpits, stretch out through the fingertips, breathing here, driving those hips forward, feeling a nice stretch in your right hip flexor. Extending out through the left hand now in a little twist. You can lift up the back knee if you wish, or you can keep it down. Make sure to keep the hips in line if you are lifting the back leg. Then stepping the left foot back, we come forward into a half plank, dropping to the belly, coming forward into cobra. Exhale, drop down, tuck the toes under, come up into all fours and all the way up into your dog. Walk your dog here for a few moments. Just find your stretch, stretching one leg and then the other. Pressing that yoga mat away from you, pressing away from the yoga mat, lifting the hips up high. Right leg comes up and all the way up to the top. Drop the left leg, untuck the toes and we come into our lunge on the other side. Roll the shoulders back, lifting up through the armpits, out through the hands, breathing here, those hips driving forward, stretching through the right hip flexor. And when the hands come down, we take some momentum as we come, we're going to open up through to the right hand side. Lift up through the back leg if you wish. Breathing here in the twist. And now we bring the left leg forward, we come into our forward fold, lifting into a half fold, tuck the tummy in, release all the way down, press into the feet to come all the way up to standing, into a slight back bend, and then back into Tadasana. And we're going to move through that again. Root to rise, slight back bend, swan dive forward, lifting into half fold, coming all the way down, step the right foot back, and this time keeping lifted in the right foot as we come into a lunge, a high lunge, lifting up through the armpits again. Now you can do the first one if you wish, or if you want to come forward into the lifted lunge. Coming into prayer and coming into a little twist, we're going to put our right elbow onto our left leg and twisting around, pressing the elbows together. You'll be able to see this one easier on the other side. Hands come down, left leg comes back, we drop the knees, come all the way down, lifting up into cobra, releasing back into our down dog, Lifting those hips high, tuck the tummy in, pulling the tummy in and up. Right leg comes high. And now we come into the lunge on the other side. So you can have the left knee down or lifted. If it's lifted, you're balancing on the ball of the left foot, making sure to keep that right knee over the right ankle. And here we come into the twist on the other side. So as you can see, my hands are parallel to each other and my right elbow is high. Breathing here. And then bring the feet together, forward fold, lifting into a half fold, releasing all the way down, pressing to come up, and start again. Root to rise, hands come up, swan dive forward into a full half fold, lifting into a half fold. Sorry, losing my mind here. Now we're going to flatten back and come into warrior two. So get your warrior two stance, find your balance, and then we cross the hands in front, come all the way up and look over that front hand again. Crossing once again, look all the way up and look out through the front hand once more. And this time we take a couple of breaths here in warrior two. Find your lunge. Coming into reverse warrior for a breath. And then swimming it all the way forward, all the way back down, coming back into a plank, lowering down, coming up into cobra, and then tucking the toes under to press back up into downward facing dog, and lifting the right leg up high. Coming forward into our warrior two on the other side. So pressing out to the back edge of that left leg, keeping the right leg knee over ankle and keeping that tailbone going down. So tailbone tucked, crossing the hands over in front and then taking a breath to look over the front hand. Coming into reverse warrior for a moment and then swimming it all the way back down. Left leg comes up into forward fold, lifting into half fold, releasing all the way down, root to rise all the way up and coming back into Tadasana. Taking a moment here in Tadasana just to breathe, see how you feel. Now we're going to move into chair pose. So extending up and then sitting into an imaginary chair, hips are back, knees over. You should be able to see your toes over your knees. So sit really far back into that imaginary chair, pull the tummy in and up, extend out through the arms, try to have a flat back. Breathing here, releasing into a half fold. Root to rise all the way back up and coming back into Tadasana. Now we're going to try tree pose. So lifting up, placing the foot onto the lower part of your leg and balancing there, or since we're doing this at home, we can try something different where there's nobody watching. You can try lifting your foot all the way up or wherever is more comfortable for you. I'm swaying my hands here to show you that even in tree pose we can sway a little. You can bring your hands to prayer overhead. Just make sure your standing leg is really strong. And just take that leg in to center and either balance here with it bent or straighten out through the leg. See if you can balance here, building strength. Just shake it out until we move to the other side. So lifting up the left leg and placing the left foot on the right thigh. Right leg is strong. Or we can try lifting up into the thigh. If you're lifting up into the thigh, really press that foot into the thigh and thigh into the foot and squeeze everything together into the midline. And then you can extend the hands up high, swaying a little side to side. Find your focus, find your balance. And then bring the leg into center and extend out through the ankle and release back down. Give it a little shake out. Okay, legs come as wide as you can, maybe your leg length in distance apart, toes pointing front. We're going to hinge from the hips, take a breath and hinge once again. It's coming as far forward as you can with a straight back, hinging from the hips, and then allowing your upper body to float down. You're going to grab onto your lower leg with your hands, or you can let your hands come to the ground and then taking it over the left leg, balancing on the left toes, extending out through the right leg. Find your balance, and then either keep your hands on the ground or try and bring your chest up and bring your hands into prayer for a nice stretch of the right leg. And then sliding over to the other side, find your balance on the right toes, extend the left leg out, point the left toes up towards the sky. Breathing here, either with the hands on the ground or the hands at your chest in prayer. And then heel toe it all the way back together and gently and slowly roll it all the way up to standing. Now if you have your blocks handy, you can get your blocks, come into a half fold, step the right leg back. The right feet are at a 45-degree angle. We're going to come into a pyramid pose using the blocks to help us. So straight back here. And then we're going to transfer over to the left hand as we slide the right hand all the way up our leg and all the way up to stack the right shoulder over the left shoulder, and we come into a triangle type pose, triangle pose. And then bring the right hand back down, allow yourself to bend over that front leg, and then bring yourself back into a half fold. And we're going to bring the left leg back now into our pyramid pose, so left foot at a 45-degree angle. Keep that right hip crease coming back. You can see me pulling the right hip crease back here to keep the hips in line. Extend out through the spine. Spine is nice and long, and we're going to bring our balance onto the right hand as we slide the left hand all the way up the leg. Turn our focus to the left hand side, stacking the shoulders, keeping the hips in line with the ankle. So if your bum is sticking out, pull the bum in, keep the bum in line with the ankle, stack the shoulders, twisting the torso towards the sky, and then coming back down into a forward fold. Bring the legs together, and you can move your blocks now and come all the way down to the ground. We're going to come into our boat pose. So getting yourself onto your sit bones, lift the chest, lifting up through the upper torso. Bring your hands behind your thighs and lift the legs up. Now you can lift one leg at a time, or you can lift both legs together. You can have the legs bent. You can take the hands away, wriggle the toes, so long as you're keeping lifted in the chest. And release that back down. Now coming into a cobbler pose where your feet, soles of the feet are together, and you butterfly the legs to open out the hips, keeping the chest lifted. And now coming into all fours once again. And up into your downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up high and scoop it on up. We're going to come into our pigeon pose. So untuck the back leg and really extend out through that left leg. The right leg staying up off the right hip and extending up through the spine, and then coming forward and allowing the upper body to melt over that front leg. Really melt into this stretch. You can feel it all in the right hip, right glute. Breathing here in this beautiful stretch. And then you come back up, tuck the toes under, come back into your downward dog, and repeat on the other side. So we're going to lift the left leg up high, scoop it up, and coming into your pigeon on the left hand side. So find your balance, extend out through that right leg, toes are pointing away from you, staying up off the left hip. Don't allow the left hip to fall down. Keep the hips nice and level. And then we melt over the left leg with our body, You can extend the arms out long, or you can rest your head on your hands. Breathing here into the stretch, breathing into the tight spaces of that hip. And coming back up, scooping around and rolling all the way down to lying down. We're going to come into our bridge pose, so scooch the ankles close to your bum. Keeping the knees in line, we're going to lift up through the hips and all the way up through the spine. So we're bringing our weight onto our shoulders and pressing into the heels, keeping the knees together, not letting the knees splay out. And then allowing yourself to come back down, one vertebra at a time, and then lifting up again into bridge pose and coming back down, one vertebra at a time. And then we bring the knees into the chest, rocking from side to side, a little counter stretch for our bridge pose. Now bring the feet down onto the mat again, cross the left leg over the right as if you were sitting at a desk, and then allow both knees to fall to the left. So you have your left leg crossed over your right and your knees are falling to the left, hands extended out wide, and you're looking towards the right hand side. Breathing and releasing into this stretch with every out breath. Engage the tummy muscles to come back to center and reverse your twist, reverse your cross. So right leg over left, and then allow the legs to fall to the right. Hands are extended out either side and you're looking now towards the left. Breathing here and releasing with every breath. Really enjoying this stretch. Coming back to center and extending out long, finding your comfort here as we come into our Shavasana. So really allow your legs to be loose, allow the feet to roll away from each other, palms facing up, scooch the shoulders down the back, creating loads of space. Tuck the chin into the chest ever so slightly, just to extend out through the spine. And taking as much time as you need in your Shavasana, even pausing the video if you want to, and just taking 10 minutes here just to lie and allow your body to completely relax and to completely do nothing. Softening the skin in the face, softening through the chest, feeling the belly rise and fall as you release your practice and allow yourself to melt completely into your mat, giving yourself this time to do absolutely nothing. You deserve it. Breathing here. Allowing the body to relax more with every out breath. Completely releasing through all parts of the body. Taking as much time as you need, even pausing the video if you need to. But for now, it's time for me to sign off. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I've never done anything like this before. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. See you soon.